Welcome to Channeling Mac, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, we have learned over the past 6 months that the government of Australia has overhauled all types of different visas and migration strategies. Remember, they used to promote expansion, putting a lot of quotas to permanent migration. Now they have put a lot of restriction changes and policies upon the new upcoming immigration systems. So obviously, what has been affected? People applying visa, that including visitor visa, and also that including student visa, including employment sponsor visa, skills related visa, what about investment visa, and global talent visa as well. So it's covering all type of visa. Now the only visa category it doesn't really affect is the family related, because usually family related visa, it's usually very hard to go wrong. The only one will go wrong perhaps will be the partner visa, because of the breakdown of the relationship, which is inevitable. I don't know if that will be the right descriptions to be used on that one, but all the other ones, I recently have received a lot of contacts, email, messages and comments about refusals. Now I would like to talk about, I think I've done a video previously talking about this. Now obviously we're looking at the numbers or quotas that the government of Australia is looking to provide for each and every financial year. Now we learned, despite that there's not much of a big changes on the total migration program, you can see the numbers doesn't really change much, only 5,000 differences, but they're actually cutting a lot on the temporary visas. Now this migration planning level is only focusing on permanent migrations. That means a visa that gets you into PR, permanent residency, okay? But it doesn't tell you about the temporary migration, temporary visas, for example, the work visas, for example, the student visas, for example, the visitor travelers visas. Now, there has been a lot of people receiving refusals, not despite the other type of other visas. Now, we gotta understand we are in a situation where we have just recently received today's rates announced by Reserve Bank of Australia. It stays the same. Okay, I'm not an economist, but if it tells you it stays the same, means the inflation could not be controlled. It's still up there. We have seen some of the European country has already dropped their the reserve or the central interest in order to keep the functional and all the economy to be continue to be operational and profitable. But it seems to be Australia's inflation is still cannot really be controlled, and that's why the interest rate has been kept at the same level. Now what does that mean to immigration? That means more restrictions on immigration will continue, and that's not a good sign. Now if that is right, obviously more refusal will come, and that is the reason I want to make this video, to actually get everybody to understand, if we are in a period of time where high refusal rate is basically out there. Now looking at 2 years back, just right out of COVID, visa grant rate was pretty high. Whatever the visa you apply, you get granted. But nowadays we have seen ETA, even electronic travel authority, being refused. Traveler visa, how many refusals out there? How many student visa refusals since the change from the GTE to genuine student test? Despite there's not much of content changes, but they are putting on level and risk upon the education provider and the the passport country or passport holders or regions of particular countries will have actually high rejection rate. So you got to be ready on this one. Now, so far I have seen a lot of people being refused based on their DIY. They try to do it yourself. Now, my channel, obviously, we have provided a lot of content and information in regards to visas. However, by knowing what visa to apply doesn't really mean you actually know the detail of the migration law and regulations. Obviously, general public is not trained on these professions. So I've seen people actually lodge, even like they graduated, they completed their courses, either it's going to be bachelor or master degree, and they lodge the so-called temporary graduate, which is pretty straightforward 485 visa, and they get refused. Why? Forgot to provide their medical checks, booking, forgot to provide their AFP, all these minor stuff causing refusals. So as a lot of people lodging their student visa by themselves. They thought if they get a confirmation enrollment COE from an education provider, they should be guaranteed to have a student visa, which is totally wrong. They thought if they complete and graduate from a course, they should be guaranteed to get a temporary graduate visa. That's totally wrong again. And they thought if they would just provide, pay the money, say I want to travel to Australia to be just a tourist, and they should be able to get a traveler's visa or visitor visa, and that's totally wrong again. Now the reason why the cause of all these refusals basically is upon the restrictions on quotas being provided by the government. Now the government of Australia is currently controlling the numbers of migrants coming into Australia, because they claim the migrants are the cause to what? The housing crisis, which is very, very, very political. And I believe that is incorrectly, putting upon the cause, the results on migrants. However, what can we do? I don't think we can do much on this apart from putting more videos and information out there to allow people to understand the situation. So again, a lot of information is out there, understand, but I really wanted to push this information to the general public understand. Now, first of all, government use a lot of figures which is can be shown quite pretty, but in reality it may not. You can see this is the numbers showing. This is only showing that this is for permanent intake. It doesn't tell you the temporary, how much of the temporary visa they are gonna accept and how many is gonna be rejected. So information here, well, obviously people may ask, well, Carl, can you dig those information out? Well, we can, but it will usually within the freedom of information. That will be a couple months down in the future. And that means already a lot of people, probably thousands and thousands of visa application already being refused. So I'm here just to telling everybody I'm receiving a lot of comments because we are in the period of the immigration shrinking stage. So I'll really suggest that you really find a professional migration agent or lawyer to actually help you out. There's nothing wrong with DIY your visa application, but because you don't know what you're facing out there, I've seen just too many DIY visa application has been refused lately. Anyway, should you have more question query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below. Let's see you next video. Goodbye.